York County is so much more than just a stop for gas on I-80. 17 County is filled with unique individuals with unique stories just waiting to be told. Welcome to the 17 County Podcast with your host, Emily Perry.
This is 17 County Podcast. Thank you for tuning in for today's episode. Be sure to like, subscribe, and listen. This helps our podcast grow, and we thank you for your continued support. We would also like to take the time to thank our York County Development Corporation members, AgriProducts, Cornerstone Bank, Nebraska Public Power District, and Central Valley Ag. Without these great members, we wouldn't be able to focus on the growth and development of York County here at the YCDC. So thank you. Let's get to the podcast. So joining me today is Kadee Ditloff. Kadee is the branch manager at Union Bank and Trust for the York branch. From overseeing staff to being well involved in the community, Kadee is a great source of leadership for York County. So thank you so much for taking the time to visit with me today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we kind of dig into what you do now, let's talk about the past. Where are you from?
So I'm actually originally from out west, Wellfleet, Nebraska. I graduated from Maywood High School, so a very small community.
Yeah, where is that? I feel like I should know, but I don't.
Right. So Maywood is like right between McCook and North Platte.
Okay.
Pretty
so
much
good
right
ways away.
Yeah, pretty much right in the middle.
Okay,
yep.
Absolutely. So what did your family do? What was it like growing up?
My mom and dad, we live out on the ranch just outside of Wellfleet. My dad was a cowboy. And my mom was actually a really hard worker. She worked for the street department at North Platte. Wow. So really hard worker for both of them. So grew up just raised by two individuals that, they taught us to work hard and it'll go a long ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that brings us a long ways in our professional career too. So you grew up there, you probably, I'm assuming, went to high school, graduated.
Yep.
What was the journey like after that?
I actually got a volleyball scholarship to play at Colby, Kansas. So I went there for 2 years, dealt with some injuries. That was something like I kind of battled with because I was always healthy throughout my high school career. So just a lot of, I worked through it, like that, where that hard work came through. Worked through it. After my 2 years at Colby, Kansas, I ended up going to Lincoln. I ended up going to massage therapy school in Lincoln. That took about a full year of just schooling. After that, there's just so much practice in that my body was wore out. And at that time, I was working part-time at races, getting me through school. A job opportunity came up in the York location. And so I ended up taking that, and I was the first assistant manager there. From there, I was there for 4 years, really enjoyed the customer service, and I think that's kind of where my customer service passion came from. Just enjoyed helping customers feel better, dressed to feel good, and I think that's just kind of what drives me in a way, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I kind of wanted to stay with customer service. Starting a family, I just wanted some kind of steady hours, more time with my family, and so I ended up applying at a couple banks here. I'm glad I chose Union Bank and Trust in multiple ways. They've treated me so well. They're family-driven. Community involvement is very important to Union Bank and Trust. So I think their values kind of follow with them, along with mine, too.
Yeah.
I've been there for 8 years. It's
Wow.
crazy to think that. I started as a teller, and I moved up to personal banker. And then the last 4 years, been branch manager there. So.
Wow. And I think that goes a long ways to talk about a business that you have room to grow. You're encouraged to grow. So that's awesome.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's something that we've kind of become passionate about is we want to, keep the individuals that want to grow. And that's something we've kind of created a career path for them to do, kind of the same career I did, but a little bit faster where they don't have to wait for a position to open up. They can move up when they're ready.
Wow. So there's definitely a lot of room for growth. Personal development is huge.
Yep.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. You kind of touched on your community involvement. What all are you involved in right now?
So United Way of York, I've been involved in for about 5 years now. What I like about United Way of York. It kind of supports all nonprofits in the York County. I don't think a lot of people know exactly what we do. So we kind of are a core fundraiser for all the nonprofits, where we do all the fundraising, and then these nonprofits apply for funds that they can use. So I think that's just something I'm really passionate about, is how I can just do one organization but support a lot.
Yeah.
The last 3 years, we've been kind of passionate about just getting our name out there. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, but the United Way Carnival we do in the spring, I think that's been kind of a huge hit, just getting our name out there, getting us known what we do. So that's been helpful. I'm also involved with the York County Ag Society on the fair board there. So come 1st of August, I'm very busy. It's a crazy week, but it's all worth it. Just supporting the youth, supporting the 4-H, the fair. It's fun, and I've always enjoyed it so far. So it's my second year on that. I'm also on the YCDC board. So I've been on that for 4 years now, just getting more involved as years go on. And then also the newly developed the child care board as well. So working on that, trying to become that fix of our child care. So.
Yeah, absolutely. You have a lot going on.
Yes.
A lot going on.
Yeah, I'm very busy, but I enjoy it. That's that drive, hard work in me.
Yeah, absolutely. And giving back to your community. That's huge too. If you can get a place that you work for that not only, values that personal growth, but also that community involvement, man, you've scored an amazing job, an amazing career. Can you talk about childcare and some of the issues that you see today?
Yeah, I just think even our workforce kind of struggles with the childcare. Good candidate employees that we can definitely have in our communities, supporting our businesses. They have to stay home because they can't find the child care. So I think that's just something that I think we can see across the board at organizations, and just hoping we can find that, because those individuals are probably driven. They can fit into their cultures at our small businesses here or big, large companies here. So I think that's just something that we can definitely fight for, given the opportunity if they wanted to come back to the workforce.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to kind of backtrack, maybe. So you talked about all this traveling that you did for, just your journey, I guess. What brought you to York? Why York?
So it's kind of a funny story. So when I was going to school in Lincoln, I had a friend that lived in Sutherland, and so we'd always commute back to see family and stuff. And we'd always stop in York. Okay. Because the gas was cheaper. Yeah. And so I always joked about with my friend, I was like, I'm going to live here one day just because the gas is cheaper. College kids, that's one thing you look for, Yeah. I don't know why I actually just landed here in York. The Maurice's transfer brought me here, so job opportunity brought me here. And then, finding my husband, obviously. Yeah. So that's kind of what's kept me here in York. I just like the location, the community. It's close to Lincoln, Grand Island, and also the community. The community supports it's crazy how much everybody just comes together and supports one another. If there's something that we need fundraising for, or even just say a drive, nonprofit, something like that, I feel like the community really comes together.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like the community encourages you to be involved too. It's not just work or whatever. The community really tries to pull you in. So tell me a little bit more about maybe your family. I know that you obviously live here and you're married and you have kids. What community do you hang out in? What school district are you a part of?
So we're actually part of Heartland School District, but we opted out and go to High Plains Community School. Okay. It's a 10-minute drive versus a 45-minute drive. Yeah. So that's where my husband went to high school at. So just having that close by for travel makes it easier. We live over by Bradshaw, just out in the country, north of Bradshaw. And that's where my husband grew up. So the house that we live in is where he was born and raised. Oh, cool. So we have that farm life country. So, my husband is an electrician, so he travels. Right now he's in Wood River working on the school there. Mm-hmm. So he's always constantly traveling for work as well. And then we also have farmland on the side too. So he's very busy, which makes me kind of stay busy as well with the kiddo.
Yeah, man. A lot going on between involvement and then farming. You hear everybody talk about how farming is so rewarding, but it is also very time committing, and it takes a lot of effort, a lot of time. Absolutely amazing. So you live outside of Bradshaw. Do you attend the Bradshaw days and all those fun things that go on in Bradshaw?
Yes, we try to attend that as well. The last couple of years we haven't made it there, but we do try to attend and support it.
Yeah, I've heard it is absolutely a blast. So if you guys are ever around for Bradshaw Days or Mustang Roundup, I mean, any of our small town celebrations, they are just absolutely a blast. Definitely check them out. So let's talk about Union Bank a little bit more. You said you kind of looked at different banks within the community. What drew you to Union in particular?
So I actually had a friend that worked for Union Bank and Trust, and I was kind of replacing her position.
Okay.
So just having that friend to tell me, hey, this is what you expect, getting that culture knowledge before, that's kind of what really drove me to Union Bank and Trust other than other financial institutions here. Just the culture, family oriented, the community involvement. They are so supportive. Dealing with my dad's accident a couple of years ago, they supported me all the way through that. So I just really appreciate that.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. Absolutely no. And you said you've been there for how long now?
8 years.
8 years.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. And you started as a teller. What was that like, stepping up into these different positions? I mean, that's a lot of growth within 8 years.
I've talked about my drive, as a teller, I put a lot of work on my own time, learning the products, learning the services. I'm just really getting my knowledge behind me. So when I became personal banker, I was kind of ahead of the game because I had the knowledge about the products, the services. And it's just really just learning the system is what I had to do, which I had some kind of knowledge in that because they'd give me little things to do where was able to do those. And that's what I do like about Union Bank and Trust is if you can do more things that we can let you give more responsibilities.
Yeah.
And that kind of my role right now kind of refreshes me a little bit because then I can get out in the community more and do things that I enjoy and support my community and support nonprofits because I know I have a, knowledgeable team back at the branch.
Yeah.
So I think that's something even when I was a teller, I looked up to and now I use that tool as well now as a branch manager. Coming from personal banker to branch manager was a little bit tougher. Just because I was a peer going to, a manager.
Right.
So just, adapting to the relationships in the branch. I mean, my team made it very easy on me. So I really appreciated that.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a different dynamic. You talk about your team a lot. If, let's say, you did have a position open, I know we talked and you don't right now. Congratulations. But if you did have a position open, what would the ideal candidate be for someone looking to work within Union Bank and Trust?
We look up to people that's, not necessarily outgoing, but has that customer service focus. We recently kind of updated our customer service where we have service standards now. And one of them is just using our name. So getting personal, somebody that can be personable. Maybe they're not so outgoing, but they have that personable kind of touch. And our customers is what kind of drives our business too. We want to know everything about our customers. Our goal is to say their name as they walk in the door. So that's something that's really Union Bank is passionate about. Another thing that we look at too is just somebody that's driven. They have the drive to learn as well and kind of push themselves.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think those lifelong soft skills have become more and more important and more rare to find, it seems.
Yes.
But so important.
I'm Don Freeman II. I'm President and CEO of Agri Products in York, Nebraska. We are a manufacturer of quality equipment, grain handling, food storage, food service. And if you ever want to get a hold of us, you can get on our website or you can contact us at 402-362-5500. Thank you.
We are going to go into some hot potato really fast. Okay. So it is just whatever comes to mind first. If it takes you a minute, that's okay, because sometimes it takes me a minute too, but that's okay. So would you say you are a fall or a spring person?
A fall.
Fall?
Yep.
Is there a reason?
I just love the colors.
I agree. TV or books?
TV.
Okay. Do you have a favorite show?
Yellowstone was one of them, but since they're kind of pushing where they won't release any new seasons, I'm kind of getting irritated.
Yeah.
But yeah, I stick with Yellowstone.
Okay, good choice. Very good choice. Fruit or vegetables?
My preference would be fruits, but vegetables is something I try to eat daily.
Try to get a good mix.
Yes.
But yes, I get that. Travel or stay home?
Travel.
Yeah,
I'm at the point of life where I want to do more traveling. We're financially kind of there and we can do more. And the kiddo's getting older where we don't have to, worry about where we're taking him to. And he kind of is more independent. So definitely travel.
Okay. Do you have a favorite place to go to yet?
We really like to go to South Dakota, like Deadwood area.
Ooh,
we actually
yeah.
used to go there like every St. Patty's Day for their festival.
Oh, fun.
So yeah, I would encourage you if you've been up there. It's beautiful.
That's good to know. I haven't been, but I've heard so many people talk about it. Movies or TV?
I would say TV.
Still TV. Okay. Farm or city?
Farm.
I was going to say,
sure.
I think I know the answer to this one. Board games or card games?
Card games.
Okay.
Definitely grew up playing cards with, grandpa and grandma and all that. So,
Oh, yeah. Do you have a favorite?
Shanghai.
I don't know that one.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah, but just a basic card game. And you try to, different hands that you try to get. And, whoever loses their cards first wins, so.
Interesting. My grandparents were huge into card games, but we always played like the really simple ones, and then they would wait till the adults got there to play all the complicated stuff. But always fun, always a blast. Let's go back to the interview portion a little bit. You talked about being a part of, is it Ag Society?
Yep.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about that. What all does that entail? I know, of course, fair season, you guys get incredibly swamped. But what does that entail?
Yeah, so it takes a lot of planning. It's a year-long planning. So usually when the fair is over, we're starting to plan for the next year. We meet once a month. It's usually about 3 to 4 hours one evening. But it takes a lot of planning on, who the entertainment is, what events are we going to do. This last year, we actually celebrated our 150th anniversary, so we had like an ice cream social too. My role, I'm kind of in charge of the cornhole tournament, so if you're a cornhole player, let me know. We'll be probably doing that next year again. It's just a fun event that we just host underneath the tent. It's right before the entertainment starts too. And then obviously we have our big events like our figure 8 derby, our demo derby, and then we have that ranch rodeo too that people have really started enjoying. So the farm kid in me is, if you have never been to a ranch rodeo, that is something I'd be highly suggest going to. It's just so entertaining, and if you have never seen it, it's kind of it's something that it's
fun.
Fun.
Yeah,
Especially for the kiddos too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that our fair is really supportive and integrated with 4-H. I mean, that is one of the highlights. It's so much fun to walk through and see all the animals and all the things that these kids have put together and are showing and made. It's just absolutely amazing. Do you work with UNL Extension, I believe, is the ones that really help with 4-H? Do you work with them a lot to get all that set up?
Yep. So we work with, each ag board has like a different building they manage. So all those open class projects, the vegetables, the quilts, all that, I'm kind of in there having them check in, check out. Gary's the one that leads that. So I'm just kind of there to assist whenever he needs me to. But yeah, we helped out through there. We coordinate with them. If they want to make some changes, we work with them together. So we're kind of a tight-knit group that we work with both. They always invite us to events too. Like this last Sunday, they had an event. They're always encouraging us to be there and help support them, and vice versa, they support us. What they do, it's just crazy amount of projects they do. What they do for our youth is incredible.
Yeah, I think it's one of the really great perks to being in York County. And I know there's surrounding counties that have similar programs, but our York County UNL Extension is just phenomenal. I can't talk highly enough about it. They help with our ESI camp too. So if you are a child going into middle school, let us know if you want to be involved in that. But yeah, they are just so incredibly passionate about helping and improve and teach young people things. It's just, and so 4-H is just students, right? It doesn't go into adults, or does it?
So we can do open class. So you can enroll in open class, and there's no really age group for that.
Okay.
So probably, my grandma used to do it, and when she'd bring her vegetables in, pies in, there's so many things that you can really bring a project in. So it's really for all age groups.
That's amazing. So definitely check that out. And that's usually the first week of August?
Yep, it's the first full weekend of August.
Okay. So It passed this year, but you guys still have a chance to catch it next year. So that's good. Before we wrap things up, do you have any words of wisdom to people that are looking to move to the area or maybe are trying to choose between York County and somewhere surrounding?
I would just say, like, York County, they just support one another. You know, we come together and do whatever we can to make our community the best. Anybody new out there, if you're wanting to meet people or just get involved, I just highly suggest reaching out to the chamber office. They have some good resources. You know, reach out to either myself, some board members, and they will let you know, like, who needs help. And another thing too, is making sure if you're wanting to get involved, making sure it aligns with your values, making sure you're passionate about the project too. You're gonna get the most out of that if you have some kind of connection or passion in that organization.
Yeah, absolutely. And then on the flip side, let's say that there is a customer listening or a potential customer. What would you tell them about Union Bank and Trust, and how would they get into contact with you?
So I'm at the York location at 502 North Grant Avenue. You can also call me at 402-362-7736. Our customers are what drives us. You know, we love our customers. We want to get to know you. So we're pretty passionate about just making sure we're community-oriented, customer-driven. So we just wrapped up our Best of York County this year, and I'm really excited to share that Union Bank and Trust was voted best bank, best customer service, and also best small place to work at. So that's something that we're really excited about, and it definitely drives me to do better, serve better, and just get out more in the community, just get us known.
Yeah, congratulations. That is no small thing. That's huge. So congratulations. Well, I guess then if any of you listening want to get in contact with Kadee or anyone from Union Bank and Trust here in York, let us know. You can also reach out to the YCDC at 402-362-3333, and we are more than happy to put you into contact with her. Thank you so much, and we will catch you next time. In closing, we would like to once again take the time to thank our members, the people that help us drive change. We would like to thank York State Bank, Henderson State Bank, York General, Meade Lumber Company Incorporated, and York News Times. And thank you, our listeners, for tuning in. Catch you next time.